They are underway and into the water, 150 metres up to the first buoy.
Quite tight around here. It's a very, very tight swim course, especially after this second swim buoy. They'll make the left, and that third swim buoy you see in the corner down there is very, very tight under the bridge.
You can see them stretching out a little bit in the front here, and yeah, I think it's going to be all together when they come out perhaps the end of the swim.
Yeah, certainly, and how quickly these 300-metre swims finish, but how much you can pay for it if you have a bad swim. Jess Learmonth, who, if you remember from our arena games, took the perfect 30 for 30 points back in Rotterdam a few months ago, looks to take it by the scruff of the neck, and she hasn't done any Super League racing outdoors, Macca, but she certainly knows how to get it done.
Well, she knows what she's doing, and we're expecting this as the best swimmer in the field as she leads out now. Victoria Lopez in second, and Georgia Taylor-Brown, who's swimming very, very well to get a quick transition for the Scorpions to hopefully pick up these points.
So if she can come over the mountain line first, she'll pick up a short chute. She'll take on the run in stage 3, which is a shortcut if you're new to Super League racing. And she seems to have got it pretty well done, but instead it was Lopez who takes 5 from Learmonth. Taylor Spivey and Anna Godoy, who's had a great swim, round out the top 5, but you can see the size of the gap there, and Taylor Spivey is all on her own. Beth Potter, Vicky Holland, Rachel Clammer, Sophie Colwell and Non-Stanford are your top 10. Here is the big group that is chasing these 3.
And you can see they're working well together, but being in a bigger group, it's a very, very difficult to go quicker through the corners. And yeah, I think Emily Moriez here on the front, she's also from the Team Scorpions, so they've got 2 up in the top 4.
The way the points are decided, of course, there's points on offer. If you win individual points, it goes from 15 down to 1. Those points also go to your team. But we also have points on offer for the first across the mountain line after the swim, the first across the mountain line after the first bike, and the first across the line in the first run. Last time across the timing mats, it was 11 seconds back to Emily Morier and then 12 to a big, big group. Katie Zafiris is now sitting in 15th position, 31 seconds in arrears. She was the number 2 draft pick. Cassandra Beaugrand, 41 seconds back in 18th position. It's off the bikes and onto the first run come Jess Learmonth, Georgia Taylor-Brown, Victoria Lopez, and then absolutely nobody. So Lopez picks up the 5 points again, and that means Lopez is the only one with a short chute. She came across the line twice, giving her a huge advantage when it comes to stage 3, denying the other 2 a short chute. Georgia Taylor-Brown at the front looks exactly like she did when she won that World Championship race. High, perfect running form, and just seems to be able to run away from him.
That's an Olympic gold medalist on screen there. The confidence is oozing. She's going to grab these points for herself. She's got the other 2 under duress. I think she looks very, very controlled and will cruise to a victory in this stage 1.
Gee, she looks good, Georgia Taylor-Brown.
Georgia looks remarkable, but look at Beth Potter moving through the field very, very well, along with Non-Stanford and Vicky Holland closing in on Jess Learmonth. But GTB, Georgia Taylor-Brown on screen right there, looks so relaxed. You can see the breathing's under control. She's under no pressure at the moment. Time matters. She knows she's going to win this quite comfortably. She comes up this little climb here and crosses the finish line, and it's a beautiful performance.
And there goes across the line Georgia Taylor-Brown with a bit of a smile. She continues on her winning way, and she wins stage 1 of the triple mix and the first winner in Super League Championship Series in 2 long years. Straight off with the shoes, getting ready to go again. Well done to Georgia Taylor-Brown. And here are the official results. So 6 seconds already for Georgia Taylor-Brown. Of course, there is another mass start stage coming up where those times will expand. Beth Potter, Vicky Holland. And how about that? Learmonth and Stanford, all GB top 5. How good is that? Taylor Spivey dropped back 13 seconds. How about GB just stepping up to the plate?
Well, it's the place to do it in your home race.
This time it starts with the run, no time to relax, and we're off for stage 2. And you can see that some of the athletes were caught napping there as well. They'd only just come in, they didn't even have time to get out again, and already things are getting very, very tough, which is why I love this racing so much. There you go, Vicky Holland takes the lead now, and as you said, COVID mixes things up, but she's come back and she started to look very, very good at just the right time.
And there's Katie Zafiris hitting the front for the first time in Super League racing in this year. Our champion from America. Front of screen with Vicky Holland, Beth Potter sitting back there.
I've got confirmation of the points actually for you. It's the Eagles who picked up the most. They picked up 11 in the swim. Now the Eagles, you can see there, Vicky Holland's a member, the big eagle on the chest. The yellow is the Rhinos. Now the Rhinos didn't pick up a single point in the opening stage. The Eagles picked up 25 total. The Scorpions picked up 12, the Sharks 5, the Cheetahs 3. But now moving to the front is the #1 draft pick for the Rhinos in Katie Zafiris. It's a long race. It seems like a fast race, but of course we've got three times 3 disciplines, so it really adds up. Now, I've just been analysing the points, and the reason the Eagles are so far ahead, the Eagles are Lopez, Learmont, Spivey and Holland, and they were all there or thereabouts all the way through, picking up separate points for swim, bike and run when it really mattered.
Well, it's important they move up through transition now, because we saw that these transitions are imperative, but these gaps open up very quickly. As you come out of transition, you make a right-hand turn. It's a dead turn, and the athletes that are caught behind get caught out with the acceleration, so those gaps open up more. So it's important. I can see Cassandra Beaugrand drifting to the back of this group. She needs to move up as a Scorpion. I'm being a little bit biased here and close that gap. Leone applying that pressure now. If these gaps open, they'll really open up. Georgia Taylor-Brown got my message, move straight to the front, which is the place to be going through transition.
Look at that crowd. It is so good to have crowds back. It is so good to have championship racing back. And it is so good to watch it unfold as Perio heads out. There is Beth Potter as well. And it's always very congested in this area. Zafiris across the mountain line too. And making sure they don't make any errors, because they prove so costly the shorter the racing gets.
Georgia's been,
as the groups come across.
GTB's been, for Georgia's been phenomenal across not only both the stages, but across her transitions, across her run, her swim, her biking is remarkable. She's the form athlete without question. We were wondering what was going to happen when we saw the form guide with race 1. She looks remarkable.
The big watch of Katie Zafiris is important. They've got to sit in behind her and make sure they can't let Georgia Taylor-Brown get away any further. If she adds more to that 6-second gap she already has in the pursuit start, we're not going to see her for the rest of the time, because they're going to take off on the bike first. She's going to have a very strong bike, and she should be able to hold on for the race win. And Katie Zafiris is up out of the saddle and closing that gap down to Georgia Taylor-Brown.
Well, that's an interesting move. I thought Georgia was prepared to stay off the front there. You've got Jess Learmont, who's going to sit in this group. She's the best swimmer here. Georgia Taylor-Brown can tag her, and Katie Zafiris is a great swimmer. I thought Georgia would be better off staying out of this trouble, not letting Katie close that gap. Katie realised the danger with Georgia off the front, had to close the gap. She's done that, and this will be a very interesting swim shootout. There's some serious swim power between these women on screen. She just looks remarkable. She's got that sparky. I know when you find it, Rich, you're having one of those days where everything fires well, the legs feel great. She's got all the other women under duress, they're struggling. And she knows going into this swim, that first shoot off the swim to the first swim buoy is the only open section of this swim course. So getting to that first swim buoy in front will play a big advantage. So she doesn't want to drift back now. She needs to get into that water first. As a Scorpion, a little bit biased again, but Jess Learmont will be very difficult to pass if she hits that swim first.
I've had confirmation that Victoria Lopez has 2 short shoots because she did it twice, so she gets to take it on both laps of the run. However, she is 1 minute and 7 seconds back, so she put everything into that first stage, has dropped right off the back on this one, so the short shoot's been taken out of the equation.
Oh, there's a crash. There's a crash at the back. It's Georgia Taylor-Brown. It's Georgia Taylor-Brown. She's dropped the bike.
Oh, no.
She is not having any kind of luck on the bike. She had a flat tyre in the Olympics, still ran away to a silver medal, and she's come off.
And this
but
has
she's
opened
come
it up.
off within sight of the rest of the dismount line and of the rest of this crew. So she's got a 9-second gap on Jess Learmont. She's got more than she needs ahead of Katie Zafiris. And Vicky Holland is there or thereabouts as well.
She's frazzled.
So Taylor-Brown, does she have the composure to come back from that?
She'll get back into her rhythm, and she's capable of swimming up on this group. She's got 9 seconds. She'll find a form. She's an athlete that can comfortably sit on the front and doesn't need to find feet to improve her swim. Jess is starting to make the move. She got the inside run on both those swim buoys. You saw Katie swim a little bit wide, and she lost that body length advantage she had. Jess just targeted those swim buoys a bit better, Rich.
Yeah.
Has moved to the front.
Yeah, no, Jess is definitely putting in. She wants to get those points, obviously, for a team, and she obviously wants to try and get the time gap between her and Jess, so that they can she can head out in the pursuit one in pole position.
plenty of people look over the side of West India Quay to watch the best triathletes in the world of short course fire the first shots over a huge month of racing in September. As we've mentioned, we go to Munich next weekend, and then we go back to our spiritual home of Jersey before we end in Malibu, a first time in the USA, and a little slip with Jess Learmonth. Katie Zafiris comes out of the water second, and Jess Learmonth is going to cross the line ahead of Katie Zafiris. So a consistent performance from Jess Learmonth, a return to form after the last 10 minutes ago from Zafiris, and then it's Perriot from Holland, and then Kingma ahead of Taylor Brown, who'll need to compose herself after that.
So this is how they line up for the all-important stage 3. 1, 2, 3, the Brits. Jess Learmonth had a fantastic stage 2. She starts 2 seconds ahead of Vicky Holland, Georgia Taylor Brown in third. A big gap then back to Maya Kingma, Taylor Spivey, Katie Zafiris, Beth Potter, Sophie Colwell, all in a big group from Leonie Perriot and Rachel Klammer.
Off we go. Jess Learmonth starts 2 seconds ahead of Holland. Then Taylor Brown is a further 4 seconds back. They run onto the bike, and it is 4 laps, and it is 3 Brits at the front. Jess Learmonth and Vicky Holland. Can they stay away from Taylor Brown? You can see that big gap back to Kingma and then Zafiris.
Well, you saw Jess Learmonth then straight to the front. She knows the danger woman is Georgia Taylor Brown sitting in third, and between her and Vicky Holland, if they can work well together, they could isolate Georgia and set the race up for themselves.
Georgia Taylor Brown, she saw all the hard work evaporate and instead started third because of that accident. Can she come back from that? We've seen her do it before, as I said, in the Olympics. She had a puncture and did half a lap in Tokyo and still ran away to a silver medal. But Learmonth and Holland will know Georgia Taylor Brown's strengths very well and need to work together to stay away from her as they finish this triple mix. The bike, the swim and the run home. It's the first time in the history of Super League racing that we're not going to have a short shoot since we introduced it, because Victoria Lopez won both short shoots and then got eliminated along with Simone Ackerman. And so she obviously burned every single one of her matches in stage 1 and had nothing left for stage 2 as the 2 Brits do it in front of their home crowd in always sunny London. Look at that. And there is Taylor Brown all on a lonesome, trying to chase down Holland and Learmonth.
I'm not going to write Georgia Taylor Brown off from this racing. I think she has such a strong swim. She's held her own on the bike. She's lost a little bit of time, but it hasn't blown right out. Her swim's as good as Jess Learmonth's, and her run we saw in stage 1 was by far more superior than both the athletes on screen. So she is still in this. So don't write Georgia Taylor Brown off just yet.
Here we go, we head into the swim. The 2 Brits at the front, to the delight of the home crowd, is Jess Learmonth and Vicky Holland. Now, as it stands, if we stayed with this exact top 3, the Eagles would end up on 63 points, with the Scorpions on 34, from the Cheetahs and the Rhinos on 32 and 21. But right now, it's all about the individual as Learmonth heads out, and she's got half a second there, or a second on Holland just in the transition alone. So Holland needs to get her skates on and get on those feet.
And she's done that. And she needs to hang on now, Vicky Holland. She knows Georgia Taylor Brown will be pushing up from behind, and Jess Learmonth will be really applying some pressure off this pontoon start to get that gap and make Vicky swim in her own water. And the best place to be if you're a weaker swimmer of the 2 is to get into that water first and force that stronger swimmer to swim around you. So with Jess entering the water first as the faster swimmer, Vicky's in for a tough day at the office now, and you can see that gap starting to open up, and now she's vulnerable to Georgia Taylor Brown sitting in 3rd position.
Jess Learmonth, I recall from Super League arena games in Rotterdam, said she was using the swim to recover. So it's hard to go past someone who can use a swim in that short, sharp format to recover herself for the other legs. And you can see the gap she's already managed to put on Vicky Holland, and she's going to run this one home. Would you think Vicky's going to have the biggest run of her Super League career? There is our 2nd and 3rd place at the moment in Vicky Holland and Georgia Taylor Brown. And the Brits have dominated. It's great to see them do that on home soil in front of a crowd this big. So out of the water comes Jess Learmonth, who now has 2 laps on the run to win her first Super League championship race.
It's a big gap. It's a big gap to
big gap back now. Just out of the water, Taylor Brown, who has actually had some time taken out of her by that group of 4 swimming together. There is our race leader,
She looks
Jess
great.
Learmont,
She's
coming
not
off an Olympic gold medal in the mixed team relay, and across similar distances is looking very comfortable.
She looks great. There's no one going to close down on Jess. She's in control. She's as fatigued as you would be, but she's found a rhythm. She's got Vicky Holland under control, and Vicky would be starting to cue off where Georgia Taylor Brown is. She wants to hold onto that silver medal position. It's great scoring for the Eagles. Georgia's got her in a sight, but I think that gap to Jess Learmonth right now will be a very, very difficult one to close.
Last lap, 800 metres left, and Jess Learmonth is eating up the metres as Holland looks to fight off Taylor Brown, with Zafiris now sitting in 4th position. Can Katie Zafiris upset an all-British podium here on the streets of London for the first time? That is the question.
It's going to be a tough ask. I think Georgia Taylor Brown and Vicky Holland will both sniff the finish line, but it's Georgia Taylor Brown who's starting to crowd Vicky Holland, who's starting to get fatigued. And Katie is right there. You're right, Will. She is right there. She's not out of it.
Katie is coming now. Definitely looks like they've closed the gap after the swim. It'll be interesting to know the gap from the swim from Jess to Katie's side, but Katie's definitely shown that she's one to be reckoned with after the first round. You can never write her off.
So, Jessica Learmonth, as we said, starting first found triathlon when working in a supermarket all those years ago, and has conquered the world since then. Jess Learmonth, off the back of an Arena Games victory, comes to championship racing and does the job on the streets of West India Quay. Congratulations to her. She's given everything, races with a heart on her sleeve, and she takes out the very first championship race of 2021. Picks up the 20 grand and maximum points. Georgia Taylor Brown hangs on, or comes back to second. Holland looks behind her, doesn't see Zafiris. An all-British top 3. Katie Zafiris comes back from a sluggish start, and it looks like Sophie Colwell will be our 5th place getter. 4 Brits in the top 5. What a race.
Yeah, I've had a bit of bad health this week. I've been a bit unwell, and I actually discussed with Tim before the start whether I should race, but we decided for the team it would be worth it. I'm really delighted with that. I think I couldn't have done any better racing against these 2 who are such, as everyone knows, amazing performers, and to have a clean sweep for Great Britain, although we're not technically racing for Great Britain, that was great. And as the Eagles team, we did really well today too.
Brilliant, congratulations. Please take your medal, Vicky. Georgia, what a race. Just update us on your crash.
Yeah, that's my fault. I didn't take my feet out of my shoes very well coming off that on that second race, so yeah, I think I might have caught my wheel or something with my hand, so I just came down. Tried to save it, but I didn't. But I just knew I needed to get to transition with all my equipment, so I did the best I could.
Congratulations, please take your medal. Every time I spoke to you yesterday and you went, I'm not fit. Come on, Jess, that was a performance and a half.
No, I do. I think training's underrated, honestly. I do. I'm either really well tapered and fueled by booze, I think.
Congratulations, Pete. Please take your medal, Jess. Congratulations.